Hello, I am Corey Robertson. I am an executive coach and I specialize in working with mostly with leaders in high tech. My role is to help to build workplace cultures where employees come to work fully engaged, fully ready to give it their all. My tagline is alive from 9 to 5. And what that means is that people can come to a workplace where they feel great about being at work. They love their jobs, they have a great relationship with you, their boss, and a great relationship with each other. I really believe that most people really want that. Most people really want to have a great day at work. They want to be a part of something that's doing well and going well, and they really want to use their talents and their energies to be part of a great project or a great process. Sometimes what gets in the way, or often what gets in the way, is culture. So things aren't working well with the way people are getting along with each other, the expectations, perhaps the unspoken rules of the organization, the spoken rules of the organization, just how work gets done. So that's culture. Culture is really about what are the values that we share as an organization, and how do those values show up in our behaviors. So a culture is something that's established by the founder, by the very original owners, and it's about how she or he treats the employees, treats the customers, and treats the work. What the ultimate quest is for every organizational leader and owner is to be able to build a culture where all of these things work together. People have great team dynamics, people have great confidence, they have the right amount of space they need to be able to work autonomously, and they also have the right amount of direction they need to get the kind of, the supervision and the feedback and the correction, the training, and the ongoing management they need to be able to do, the best in their workday. And so that is really where I work. So for those of you who are just tuning in, once again, I am Corey Robertson. I am broadcasting today from my home office. Maybe give a thumbs up or a like if you are working from home today as well. It is spring break. Lots of people have their kiddos at home, including me. It's a beautiful sunny day here in St. Lazare, and like most of you, I am hoping to carve out some time to go for a walk, maybe in the woods, just get some fresh air, which is a really important part about being able to have a productive work day, is getting fresh air, getting some exercise, getting some sunshine. So I started off by talking about culture, and that's where I do most of my work as a coach. I published a blog post yesterday called Debugging Leadership in the High Tech World, and this post was really about the starting point of culture, how high tech leaders can start looking at their culture as a strategic plan, as part of their ideas and their ways of working and the ways of helping other people get their work done in a very mindful and intentional way. So in debugging culture and debugging leadership in the high-tech world, one of the things is to look at what is going on in the industry. Now, high tech is very exposed to a lot of the trends that are going on in all of the world. Top talent is hard to find and hard to retain. That's everywhere, but high tech really is exposed. There's such a huge demand in the tech world to attract, retain, and engage talent. And so that really takes what we call an employer brand. Your organization needs to be it needs to have a culture strategy that intentionally sets out to build a reputation among employees and prospective employees of being a great place to work. So how do you even start, building an employer brand? And the first place you have to start is with your personal values as a human being. Now, human being and personal values are not terms we hear very much in, the high-tech world, high-tech companies. But ultimately, where people work together, where there are human beings who come together to produce something, there's going to be human dynamics. It's unavoidable. It really is. As much as, for decades and decades and decades, workplace leaders have tried so hard, to put all that under the rug. Leave your personal problems at home. Leave your personal opinions at home. Don't, oh, there goes my dog walking around in the background. So it's impossible for a human person to be asked to separate themselves from their emotions and from, human dynamics. So for a workplace culture to be really effective, to be really, as I love to say, alive from 9 to 5, we have to take these things into account. So that starts with the personal values of the original leadership team. Right. So workplace values. How do your personal values show up in the behaviors of the everyday functions of the workplace? So, for example, we in business we all value profit. It's important, right? Because if we don't make a profit, then we can't make payroll. That's obvious. So we all value profit and money and sales and income in business for sure. However, the behaviors associated with that, how do we go about making those profits? That's very different. One person can say, listen, it doesn't matter. It's just business and I'm going to accumulate as much money as I can. I'll say whatever I need to say to get the client. I will overpromise and I will over-deliver and I will move on to the next client. And you know what? I will talk my way out of it if I need to. But I will get money however I want to and however it works in the moment. So that's how the value of making money, making profits, and having a robust P&L, how one set of values might go about making money and being a profitable organization. Another way is through saying, listen, profit is important and we're striving for it and we are dedicated to what's called the triple bottom line. So yes, profit is important and we need it and we're working towards it. However, what else is important? People are important. The planet is important. So those are the 3 metrics that we measure our success by, and not just, getting money any way we can get money through the door, no matter who suffers or who pays the price in the long run. So what ends up happening is that with that employer brand is that people who agree with you and who are inspired by your values and the behaviors that you expect and associated with those values, they become attracted to you and they want to work for you. So, for example, what I just described is the triple bottom line. I tend to attract a lot of clients and colleagues who share those values with me. Yes, we are in business. Yes, we want profits. Yes, the planet is important. And so our decisions and our choices as we go about the workday will take the planet and the well-being of the environment into account. People are important. So our decisions, our way of work, our workplace, the choices we make, the clients we take on, take people into account. So for example, I have a client in IT, and he's a small business. He's one of my all-time favorite clients. If you're listening and you recognize yourself in this story, then kudos to you. So he small business, growing, very dedicated to having a great reputation. He always says, my mission is so that IT is done right for my clients. Let's get IT done the right way, the first way. So he attracted a really big mandate, and they were all really excited about it because it really was bringing opportunity for great potential for the organization to grow and be more profitable. And it turns out, and I mean, many of us know this story, as it turns out, once they got into the contract, the client turned out to be very demanding and very difficult to work with. And the employees who were on the project didn't want to be on the project anymore. They started dreading coming to work. You know, they were getting the Monday morning blues that usually starts bubbling up on Sunday afternoon, and you start thinking, oh God, I got to go to work tomorrow. So this contract, this client was making the team miserable. So my client, what he did is he noticed. He was really tuned in. He was what we call a conscious leader. He was very, very aware of the feelings and the energy and the vibe among his people. And he sat them down one day and he said, listen, if this contract is making you miserable, if this is making you hate coming to work, and if it's making you think about, going to look for a job elsewhere, then we are going to fire that client. And you know what? That's what he did. He finished up the deliverables that he had been paid for, and he said, I'm sorry, but we're not aligned. So his people were so important to him that he put his people and their well-being and their happiness before this very big client. He wasn't letting the client treat his employees badly. So, you know what? A few years later, this small business, it is growing by leaps and bounds. The owner is, attracting great talent because his employer brand is building. He's starting to be known as a great place to work. And yes, he has a beautiful office. Yes, he's done above and beyond making the office a beautiful place to work. But it's not just beautiful. It's an environment that makes the workday productive. There's lots of light, there's quiet space, there's beautiful environment to eat lunch. So people are happy to, sit down at break time and have a rest and recharge their batteries a little bit, enjoy a meal together. If they need some quiet time, there is a quiet room where, the lights can be dimmed and they can just, give their brains a break, for a few minutes. So these are all things that lead into an employer brand. It makes you the organization that people want to work for. It makes people engage. They're happy to be at work, and when people are happy to be at work, they engage more. In another live in the future, I will deconstruct a little bit more about what employee engagement actually is. Or you can go over to my blog. I have a 5-part series, and you can read about it. So my blog is at www.coreyrobertson.com/blog. And I have been writing for years on topics that relate to leadership, that relate to culture, employee engagement, and ultimately coaching. And that's really where, the anchor and that I suggest is such a powerful methodology for workplace engagement, workplace harmony, workplace productivity. I am the founder of the Coaching Academy for Leaders, and I offer a certified leadership coach program because I really believe that organizations need to have their own bench of coaches within the company. Of course, professional coaches in the International Coach Federation we feel very strongly, that's why we do what we do, that outside coaches like myself can be very helpful to employees and teams and the organization at large. In many ways, coaching conversations are powerful. However, it's not enough just to bring in an executive coach for your top tier leadership. It's really powerful when you can have your employees do the coaching. Build a bench of your own employees so that when peers and colleagues and direct reports needs coaching, it happens within the organization. And that is another culture piece. That's how leadership takes place. Coaching as a leadership style is very much putting leadership theory. I'm sure many of you listening, many leaders have been to leadership programs. They're fantastic. I have attended many myself. I know many great ones out on the market. Canada has many, many great leadership development programs. However, when you're actually practicing those leadership theories that you're learning in those awesome courses, what you're doing is coaching. And I can say that hand to heart because I have, certified in change management. I certified in conflict management and resolution. Taken so many courses and so many modalities, and I always come back to the fact that when you're actually applying these theories, when you're actually doing them, the coach approach is really, it's really the glue that puts these principles together and gives a proven methodology, an actual scientific process for how to use the coaching conversation and how to help people transform their actual potential to real performance. So, as I go along with this live broadcast, I'll be bringing you more and more information about how these things work. Please send me comments and questions that you have. Stories, success stories and even horror stories. I will address them in my blogs, and I will address them in the lives. You are also welcome to book a virtual coffee with me. You can find my schedule at www.talkwithcorey.com. Book a virtual coffee. We'll take 15 minutes to an hour to address your question. I'll be very happy to coach you or answer questions you might have about how to coach your own employees. So I'm going to leave you there for today. Once again, my name is Corey Robertson. I work mainly with leaders in the high-tech world to help them build the cultures they need to build a thriving and engaged workforce. I do publish a newsletter, so you can sign up for that. So go to my website, www.coreyrobertson.com. You can sign up for that, so you'll get my latest blog right in your inbox about once a week. Tune in to my lives. Follow me on LinkedIn. I'm also on, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. My Facebook handle is Alive from 9 to 5. LinkedIn, it's Corey Robertson. Twitter, it's Corey Robertson. Like I said, my website, CoreyRobertson.com. And those are the places you can find me. I'm really looking forward to coming back. This is my second live, because like I said at the beginning, for those of you who may have missed it, I actually recorded my whole live with the camera sideways. And so I published it, and I was all excited to give myself a big pat on the back for my first live, only to see that it was sideways. So I deleted it and I started over again. But so here we are now. So I would love some constructive feedback on the live. How's the lighting? How's the frame in the picture? How's the information? Is it interesting? Is it dynamic? Is it engaging? Because I really want to get good at live broadcasts, because it's, I just saw a heart go. Thank you very much. Oh, it's Mary. Hi, Mary. I was following Mary on her social, and Mary has some big stuff going on in her life too. She's a colleague of mine, and we work together in how to help employees engage so that they can help their organizations foster client loyalty. So great to see you. Thanks, Mary. Thanks for the hearts. So I love those hearts. For those of you watching, I appreciate it. It took me a lot of procrastination to get to actually coming onto a live, because I was really nervous about it. And like I said, the first one was a total disaster. So constructive feedback is always welcome. Now, constructive feedback is a word, it's a coaching term, and they're words chosen very carefully. So think about it, construction, to build. So constructive feedback is about building people up, and that's a tip you can take back to work today if you're not on spring break, or Monday when you get back to work. Constructive feedback means you are building people up. You give them feedback that helps them build on strengths and helps them build on the qualities of what they did, the attributes of their effort. And then your corrections are really meant to keep them navigating in the right direction. Make your people feel good about themselves. If you use constructive criticism, criticism is really about putting people down and picking on faults and flaws. It really doesn't provide that energy and that momentum that you want it to. So that is my tip of the day for constructive feedback. Remember, construction, build people up, make something better than the way you found it. So that's the kind of feedback I'm looking for my live broadcast, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. I'm looking forward to answering any questions and responding to comments. And feel welcome for those of you who are following this page. You know, if somebody asks a question or makes a comment and you have an answer or a story to share, by all means use the space. I would love to build that community with you. So have a great spring break. Hopefully where you are, it is like here, a blue sky and getting warmer. You know, here in Quebec, we do certainly enjoy our very cold winters, but spring is in the air. So get outside, get some fresh air, and get some sunshine. And I will look forward to reading your comments, and I'll come back soon this week. Bye. Thank you for your time. How do I turn this off? Oh, right. My next learning today is find the finish button on the live. Okay, bye now.